Hello and welcome. I'm Daniel.
I'm Andrew. We're brothers, and this is the Daniel and Andrew Show,
where we give our opinions about movies and TV and movies about movies set in the Amazon. And also we're going to talk about Amazon, the company. Amazon will be said a lot in this episode. So, Andrew, how you doing today?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing all right. Just, hanging out at home. Wasn't a particularly busy week this week. Not that busy. Captain America dropped off pretty heavy. Not the worst drop, but not a great drop either. 68%. So very slow.
Ooh.
Yeah, very slow. I mean, it was like a $200 million opening. So they made like 70 million or something. I mean, it's not like they didn't make any money or something.
Yeah.
It's cool. Better than most movies even open. But
yeah, true.
Not great.
But when they probably spent way over 200.
Yeah. Well, reportedly the budget was 180, but people aren't convinced that number is correct. So, or true, I guess, not correct. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, I don't really have much else to say about that. I mean, hopefully it does well because I have that in our movie draft. But other than that, it's like I thought the floor was 400. It looks like the floor might be like 350. I'm okay with that. I mean, that's still better than most movies last year. So, it's not a Joker 2 or something. It's already surpassed that. So, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you do anything fun this week?
No, haven't watched anything other than Cobra Kai. Gearing up for Monster Hunter. Comes out Friday.
Yeah, next week we'll talk about Cobra Kai. Yeah, I mean, I'm not excited about any video games currently. So, I mean, I got on video games for the first time in a long little bit, and it wasn't even working. The game that we wanted to play, it finally worked, but took forever. So, yeah. Yeah, I didn't do anything really. I went to another one of those mystery movies. This week it was Last Breath, which was a movie we thought about doing for next week, but we're gonna do Cobra Kai. With Simu Liu and Woody Harrelson. They were the deep sea divers or whatever. I don't know if you're gonna check it out or not.
Yeah, try not to spoil anything.
I will
probably check it out when it comes to streaming, but I will
say that's worthwhile. It's a worthwhile movie.
It's not.
I mean, you go on Tuesdays for discount day. I think you could see.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna go see 2 movies on Tuesday back to back. That sounds terrible.
You're not going to because we're talking about Cobra Kai.
Yeah, not worth the money.
I think you'll lose the effect when they're in the dark and they're in the deep sea and stuff. When you're in the theater, it's pretty fun.
Should have reviewed it then.
All right, I give that movie like a 7.5. So
cool.
I think it's worthwhile seeing. It's probably my favorite movie this year. So yeah, so far. I mean, of 10 movies.
Yeah. If 7.5 is your best movie, that sadly.
I was like leaning on an 8, but I thought it was pretty like. Wasn't like there wasn't any like spectacular acting in it or anything. I mean, it wasn't like it didn't transcend or anything. It was just like a really solid movie, just like today. So, yeah. All right. Let's get into some news then. So lots and lots to cover today. We'll end with one topic so we can get into a trailer. we'll start with something. I think this is all interesting news. Some of it's good news. Some of it's, to me, not good news. Let's start with something good here. The Punisher. Looks like we're gonna get a little standalone Punisher from Marvel because we got the Daredevil
Like a
return here.
movie or
I can't remember if it was a movie or a TV show. I can look that up super fast. But we will get him in his own little thing. I want to say it was like a special, maybe.
Mhm.
Punisher with John Bernthal. Um, you know, yeah, it's going to be a Werewolf by Night style special, like how they did with like the holiday special, Christmas. The Guardians thing.
Oh, okay.
So it's one of those like basically a movie, probably length. With the Punisher, probably right after. I would assume right after or right before we see him in Daredevil, the show that starts very soon. That starts next month. That Daredevil show. Um. So yeah, we're getting more Punisher from the
Yeah. I
Netflix.
guess maybe I'll need to watch the old Punisher then.
I didn't watch
Maybe.
any of it, so I think I watched like an
Oh, okay.
episode, and I thought it was like good, but I didn't like keep watching. I don't know. I don't know. Punisher is like a character that's like there. I'm not like exactly like huge fan or anything. I mean, he's
Yeah. I mean, I like John Bernthal, so I should have watched it, but I
yeah,
didn't watch all of Daredevil, so that's kind of what held me back.
yeah. I mean, I believe the Punisher is a good one. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, the problem was I wanted to watch all of them, and I got burned out on Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, and then by the time Daredevil and
Iron Fist.
yeah, I did. I don't know if I watched the whole thing, but
Yeah, we
I just
definitely
was
did.
burnt
I
out.
definitely did. Yeah, yeah. Oh, the Defender show was so horrible. That should have been like a slam dunk. It's like Sigourney Weaver and stuff. It's like I don't know how you messed that show up so badly. Um, Whatever. There's a reason why they didn't make those anymore. Um, just because of Netflix, but yeah, not great. So we'll see how this Punisher special is, but it is a special, so it's not like a series or anything. But they can pump that out probably pretty quickly. But I would assume it'll tie in either before or after we see him in the Daredevil show. Would be my guess. I don't know. So cool. We're getting a brand new animated Avatar: The Last Airbender series. It is.
Wait, you're just saying a new season, right?
No, new show. It will be the Avatar after Korra. It's
Oh,
from yeah, so
oh,
it's
you're
in the
saying
universe. I
animated,
shouldn't.
so
I
it's
Yeah, it's from the original creators of the show of Avatar: The Last Airbender, the original
uh
people, and it will be. I guess I shouldn't say the Last Airbender, an Avatar, not the blue people, the Bender show
huh.
series. It'll be after Korra, the Avatar after Korra, an Earthbender after Korra.
Mm. Wait, so a new Avatar?
New
That's like the
Avatar,
center of the show.
correct?
Wow. Who are
Yeah,
they making it with? Not Netflix, I assume.
Nickelodeon.
Oh, okay.
It's a Nickelodeon. It's already greenlit by Nickelodeon. 26 episode order already greenlit.
Um,
Um, so a it's a so they're Earthbender. They have a apparently the world is in dire straits after Korra, after her time as the Avatar, and there's not a lot of safe places, I guess. Um,
they use after an Avatar kicks it. It
yeah.
seems.
So yeah. So they have a twin sibling I don't know if it was a sister or brother or whatever, but and they're, you know, becoming the Avatar, I guess. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, there'll be an Earthbender to start.
I thought they were doing some
They are also
Aang
doing the
thing.
Aang. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So we'll
Jeez.
get those characters. They started a whole nother at Avatar Studios is what it's called. Like they have a whole production
Yeah.
company
Yeah.
just making that stuff because that show is so popular. That the original show. I don't think Korra's as popular. I wasn't a big fan of Korra, so
Yeah. Well, they fumbled Korra, so.
yeah, they sure did. They sure did. So
Also, having it be on Nickelodeon isn't really.
well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's Nickelodeon is the company that owns it, but I don't know if it'll be on Nickelodeon specifically. I
Yeah,
mean,
I was
the
like, if
original.
they want to make any money, you can't have it on.
I
Nobody
mean,
has Nickelodeon
I'm
TV or whatever they call it.
I'm certain it'll be on. It's Paramount, Paramount Plus. It'll be on Paramount Plus, guaranteed.
Okay.
Um, you know that Paramount owns Nickelodeon. It's the Paramount company. Viacom.
Back in the day,
It was on Nickelodeon.
yeah, no, it was on Nickelodeon, but they would have like, you can watch episodes at our website, but it was
Yep.
only like 3 episodes. And
Yeah.
yeah, so they've done
No.
that stuff before.
Yeah, but it's not. It's it's not the. We're in a very new day, Andrew.
Yes.
we're in a whole new world at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Korra. We'll see how they do. I'm assuming those were the original people that made Korra as well. So, I mean,
Okay, Korra wasn't that bad. I doubt you watched the whole thing.
I watched quite a bit of it. I've once again, it's something I think I can get the gist if I've seen 2 of like the 3 seasons or whatever there was. I've seen quite a bit of that.
Honestly, I expected to be pretty in line with how Korra was. I think the original story of the first Avatar was just too good. It was like lightning in a bottle. I don't think you can capture it again. I think you
We'll
can still
say
have like cool bending and stuff like that, but
I
no.
would say the live action show wasn't horrible, wasn't great either. So
Oh, that wasn't good at all.
it wasn't horrible. No,
That
you
was not
can't
good at
say.
all.
I would say that's infinite. That show is infinitely better than the movie we got. So
No,
that is horrible.
I mean, if you want to, yeah, but that doesn't mean
It
just
wasn't that
because
bad.
that
It was
was
fine.
really bad doesn't mean that wasn't bad.
It
Just
was okay. It was fine.
slightly better than bad.
Okay, sure. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. Going new, I don't know how that'll go. I would have probably preferred before Aang and not after Aang and Korra, but
Before Aang's already been
yeah,
talked about, though.
I'm sure there's an avatar that they have not talked about. They showed like a billion avatars before Aang. I'm sure there's one of them they could have done a show about. Not right before Aang. I'm saying
I
like,
see. Wait,
you
yeah, I
know,
thought you meant like Roku, but I was like,
no.
oh no, his whole life.
Nah, that's and then they'll have to deal with the people who make like the Roku TVs and stuff that they don't want to deal with all that. But I'm thinking like
Sure.
way before, you know.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
We'll see
They
how that
clearly
goes.
want the world state of what they made with Korra, because
Okay.
there's like spirits and
No, I
stuff.
get it.
Yeah.
I get it. It's just I don't care. Anyway, all right. So let's talk about some movements in different companies here that produce one specific product that people like. Well, I mean, one of them is 2, but we'll talk about the first one first. Amazon has bought out basically the longtime producers of James Bond. The longtime producers, so Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson. They've produced. I mean, Barbara Broccoli basically inherited it from her father, Cubby Broccoli, who is the original producer on James Bond since the beginning. They have been basically the creative stewards of James Bond since the beginning. So they picked the bonds and all that stuff. They had full creative control. And well, majority would control. So United Artists originally would produce and distribute the movie, and then that got um, morphed into, you know, what's it called when it's like brought in to merged MGM. So MGM, and then MGM got bought by Amazon. So that included James Bond. So since then, and since Daniel Craig has finished, we have gotten nothing about James Bond. There was rumors of people, but they have not picked a James Bond, and it is believed because Amazon and Barbara Broccoli basically said Amazon are a bunch of morons, and she didn't like any of the pitches really, and they didn't like any of the choices for James Bond. So she was basically holding it hostage, probably for good, to be honest with you. And they paid them a reported number. We don't know for sure. A rumored number. We don't know for sure. But $1 billion with a B, to
Wait,
give up creative control of James Bond.
Oh, so they're no longer in the picture now.
Well, I mean, they'll be around, but they're not. They don't have creative control, so they can't shut down any Bond picks or anything. And, Amazon will call the shots, and they pick any director they want,
So James Bond is dead. That's what I'm hearing.
That's what everybody thinks. I think pretty much everyone in the world, on the face of the planet, thinks James Bond is doomed now because Amazon's in control. No, the only person that I have talked to or listened to on a podcast or anything that has said anything contrarian to, oh my God, rip James Bond, is Dad. He thinks now they can get Christopher Nolan to make a Bond movie, and he can put Henry Cavill as James Bond, and they can make a $1 billion Bond movie. But I mean, they could, but also I think that would be like a one-time shot.
Problem with that, yeah, it would be a one-time shot. Although what he is pitching would probably be pretty good if they need to not use their own people at Amazon because they don't know what they're doing. Almost all of their shows backfire. Nobody likes. I think the only thing is like The Boys and Invincible is. I think that's the only things I watch from them. So,
I mean, I think the Jack Ryan and Reacher, that kind of stuff does well, but I think those are boring. So if they made those like they made the kind of feel for James Bond, I think that would be boring.
Even those shows they're not really too sophisticated on story or anything. It's very punch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Jack Reacher. I'm
Yep.
big sort of show, which is fine. Yeah. I enjoy it. I've seen it. But yeah, it's nowhere. You need something complex when it comes to James Bond, and I don't know if they can pull that off.
Yeah, I like James Bond. I've seen every James Bond movie. I know quite a bit of the lore. There's been many times in the James Bond history, there's been rights issues with James Bond, and that's the reason why there wasn't another Pierce Brosnan one. That's because he was going to come back, but there was a rights issue for several years, so he didn't come back, and they got a new one. That's when Daniel Craig happened. Like there was a problem with the rights, and they made a different, like a competing company brought Sean Connery back to do a James Bond in the 80s, and then that's why Roger Moore, being old as dirt, made another James Bond movie that was bad. um, they try to bring new blood in. There's been lots of turmoil in the past, and they've gotten through it with the broccoli family, basically. Um, but James Bond isn't particularly popular. I mean, they still do well. I mean, that last one still did well, but they had the COVID problem and they got pushed back. Blah blah blah. I mean, Skyfall made $1 billion, so it's been done. It's just there's just always a lot. It's always a problem. There's always drama. Daniel Craig said he'd rather slit his wrist than do James Bond, and then he did two more. So um, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I have little faith in Amazon specifically. I mean, the last Amazon thing that I saw, I believe, was a that movie with Reese Witherspoon and Will Ferrell. So, um, you know,
Yeah, not great.
Red One. I mean, it's not, you know, uh,
Yeah, yeah, unless they do something like Dad's saying, where they go outside of their norm and get, a new vision. Anything they come up with, I think who was they? The broccoli? Is that what you said?
yeah, broccoli. Well, her father was the original producer, and then she worked on it with her father, and then he died. So, and
Yeah,
then I
I'm
think,
sure they're right. I'm sure it's
yeah, I'm sure
poo
what they were
poo
giving them was
scripts.
she was
Yeah,
just like no, and who they wanted. I don't think they were looking for a new Bond, and that stalled. Like all the choices they said weren't great. I mean, there was a bunch of leaked auditions, like screen tests for when Daniel Craig was picked, including Henry Cavill was one of the screen tests that they showed. Rupert Friend, Sam Worthington, and somebody else. I can't remember who the fourth one was. All I've watched them. All of them are pretty bad. Henry Cavill is like the most wooden thing I've ever seen. So I mean, he was in contention before. So um, we'll see. Um, but this is now. I mean, the rumor was what's his name, Aaron Taylor Johnson, but then Craven and stuff happened, so he's pretty much out of contention. So,
yeah.
um, I don't know. I'm worried because I actually like James Bond. I know it's not like I feel like it's more older people that like James Bond at this point, but I mean,
Finally, something Daniel loves will now get ruined.
plenty of things that I like got ruined. I don't know what you're talking about, but that's okay.
I feel like most of the time you're like, who cares? I didn't watch the whatever show. Who cares what the fans think? No, now that it's you.
I mean, sure. I've gone into things and been very. I think Guardians of the Galaxy is disappointing. That third Guardians of the Galaxy, people love that movie. So, um, yeah.
There's nothing to love about that movie. There's things that were fine, but yeah.
I didn't. People like that movie a lot. Um, eh. But I liked Shazam, and that second movie was poo poo. So,
Oh, come on.
what? It's true.
You were not the same kind of fan as Shazam to James Bond. No way.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. That Avatar movie. I remember when that came out. I remember that was the first time I was supremely and utterly. I was like, I think I became a movie critic after seeing that movie. I was like, that movie is dog, 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 dog dumps, man. That movie sucks. So there's things that I've really enjoyed that they've ruined. Most of the time, if ever I remember when I would watch a TV show, like a new premiering TV show, if I liked that TV show, most of the time that's the show that gets canceled. So I don't even get to get the bad season or a bad movie, because those are usually. I mean, I like Dungeons and Dragons a lot, and we're never getting another one of those. So most of the time, the stuff that I like is the stuff that doesn't even get to a second anything, much less get something
Mm-hmm.
disappointing. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But I mean, now they can do a Spectre show, a M show, a Q show, whatever spinoff.
Oh, make it very franchised.
Yeah,
Oof.
franchisee. Um. So, well, the James Bond franchise is now in a weird state of flux, mystery. We'll see how that goes. Another big franchise, moving to this other big franchise. Kathleen Kennedy is reportedly going to step down as the head of Lucasfilm
Woohoo!
by the end of this year. Kathleen Kennedy, and this is reported by all the big trades like Variety and stuff. It was like little tiny trades before, but now we're at like Variety and Hollywood Reporter are talking about this. Kathleen Kennedy's step down, retire, whatever you want to say, as head of Lucasfilm. We do not have a successor announced or anything. But yep. So Star Wars will be under somebody else's control there. I mean, still Disney, but yeah. So that's big news. It only took like 5 or 6 years for the people online complaining about her to actually be gone. Well, she isn't gone yet, but
I think it's like longer than that. It's like
yeah, well, all
crazy
those guys
amount of
that were
time.
like, "Oh, I hear she's going. I hear she's going. I hear she's going." They're finally right. It only took like
Oh,
800 times of saying it, but
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Um, so she was in charge since 2012 when George Lucas kicked it over to Disney for millions and millions and millions of dollars. Um, and so anything since the Force Awakens till now has been under her. So the last thing under her will be Andor season 2. So yeah. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's good news, I guess.
I think if something comes out after her and it's worse, I mean, you hired someone really, really bad. If it's worse than
or
what we're getting,
or just maybe you can't blame her. Maybe there's somebody else to blame. Maybe it's
whoever
just
they put in
maybe
charge.
maybe it's not just solely one human being's problem. Maybe it's an entire
Mm,
company under another company. Maybe
well,
it's a
I would
Disney
assume
problem.
a lot more people will get cleaned out with her. I would assume, but
Maybe it's not just her. Maybe it's a Disney problem. Maybe she was fine, and they're telling her, "Hey,
I
do this."
really doubt that. But yeah, I see what you're
I
saying.
feel like she gets a lot more blame than actually is necessary, but
I
also
mean, so
I'm
did
not a big
George
fan either.
Lucas.
George Lucas. The prequels aren't spectacular either. They're better than what we got now. That's for sure. Those newer
Yeah.
trilogy.
All I'm saying is Star Wars has had such a low. I feel like there's only up to go. You know what I mean? So
Does this leave an opening for George Lucas to return?
uh I don't.
You
I
don't
mean,
think so?
maybe they'll finally let him like consult and
Consult.
stuff,
Yeah.
but
Um.
I don't think. I mean, he's got to be older than dirt at this point. I don't think he wants to work on a project.
Yeah. I'm hoping it's not Filoni. I don't want to see his characters all over the place. I'm not interested in that. So I'm hoping it's not him. Honestly, I'm hoping it's just like some unknown, like a new person. It's not like Filoni or Favreau or whatever. I hope it's just I'd rather have them being creatives and like making things than being the an executive, a studio head.
Yeah, I don't. I wouldn't be like mad if it was Filoni, but I think he does better work on just working on something
Yeah,
specific than
right.
being the
A
head of
creative.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I still think he should be helpful in that creative process, but I
Right.
don't think he should be the head of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Um, I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic for that. We haven't gotten any we haven't gotten a Star Wars movie since what, like 2019. So yeah, I mean, hopefully they can. Whoever comes in can cancel that Ray movie, um, and they can just start afresh. Um,
I thought that was already canceled.
it was rumored canceled. No, we don't. You know,
Okay.
I mean, to be honest, are we going to see any movies? I don't know. We haven't seen any movies. Haven't had any actual you know, other than maybe Sean Levy movie. Maybe James Mangold was supposed to be making a movie. You know, we have all these movies that have, you know, there's an unmemorable amount of movies that they've announced. Ryan Johnson, the people, the Game of Thrones guys, Patty Jenkins, Taika Waititi, Kevin Feige. Like, the names are endless of movies that they said
Hmm.
they're gonna make. So, but Kathleen Kennedy leaving is big news. We'll see who they get to replace. I don't know. The TV shows have been incredibly hit or miss. The movies are non-existent at this point. So the only one I think we're getting for sure is The Mandalorian and Grogu. I think it's in post-production. I think they've already shot it. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to get that movie next year, I believe. So that'd be our first Star Wars movie in like 6 years, 7 years. So yeah. Um, hope for the best, I guess.
Right. Well, if the next movie that they do make is good, I think it'll feel good. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I'll be like, finally,
Yeah.
something good.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see what happens. All right. Ready to talk about some trailers here?
Hmm.
All
Yeah.
right. On the train here. Short one today. Andor season 2. Speaking of Star Wars, we got a trailer for first look for our newest season of the show that was very critically acclaimed from what I see in all these reviews in this trailer. Um,
Sure.
uh, I liked the first season of Andor. I don't think I was. Everyone seems to salivate over the show. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was fantastic or anything. Um, I liked it though.
It's just one of those to me, it's just the Rogue One situation where it was like the one bright spot in a lot of bad Star Wars
Mm,
flicks. And since that was the only thing good, it becomes great.
yeah, I mean, I like
But
the man. I think I like the Mandalorian more than I like Andor. And it's funny that you say it's like the Rogue One because it's a character from Rogue One. He's
yeah,
literally Rogue One.
that's true.
And
Yeah.
this season is going to lead up to Rogue One. Um,
Hmm.
so, well, at least you'll get some good backstory on the characters. You're getting backstory on the characters because, I mean, in Rogue One, it's the beginning, middle, and end for those characters. So,
Yeah.
at least this is more about him. I think Andor himself isn't like the most interesting character on the show, so it's kind of funny.
Nope.
But I mean, I liked it. I'm definitely down to watch this season. I'm excited that it's a Star Wars thing that I like. I like The Mandalorian. I like Andor. There's not much else in Star Wars. I mean, I like the animated Star Wars stuff more than anything else. I mean, not like the Clone Wars or whatever, but like the newer stuff that I like, the kind of the where they did the anime show and the
Yeah.
Tales of the Jedi, I thought was good. So we'll see what happens with this season. Hopefully, I think it's dangerous saying everyone loved the first season so much in a trailer. Um, but what did you think of the trailer?
Thought the song choice was weird.
Yep. Everyone seems to think that. I think that as well. I mean, I like the song, but I think they're
I
trying
mean,
to go
like
more
the show
fun.
itself looks good.
Yeah, it
Huh?
does. I think they're going for fun, maybe.
Yeah, which I don't think that first season of Andor, I don't think
Yeah,
that was the vibe that it gave was
yeah,
fun. So the vibe check on this is like so weird.
yeah. I certainly hope that the vibe of the show isn't exactly like the first season, and then this is the trailer you give for it, because that is weird to do that. So hopefully it is exciting show the second season.
Yeah, I just even like you said, it's fun. That song was like fun, and that was
Yeah,
so. I'm not saying the show can't be fun. I'm just saying it's such a departure from what we got and what people liked that if it's like all happy go lucky
I
kind
don't
of
think.
show, it'll be weird take.
I'm hoping it's more because like this now they're like fully like kind of outlaw type thing. So if they're gonna go for like more exciting action, fast paced, them being on the
Mm-hmm.
run type stuff, slick action
Kind of like
thriller.
smuggler
Yeah, if
type
they're
of
going for
Han
like
Solo thing.
yeah, if they're going for like slick action thriller, then this um trailer does its job. But if you're gonna bait and switch it with this fun trailer and stuff, and then the show's like kind of dour like the first season was, it's gonna be weird. Um,
I mean, that's what I was expecting. It was kind of almost like a spy
yeah,
thriller type of
exactly.
thing.
Yeah, yeah,
If they're
um,
not gonna do that this time, because they've set it up for still
y-
more spying and
yeah,
the Empire's gonna get us, and
yeah,
that didn't look like that.
yeah. Well, we got Ben Mendelsohn back as that character from Rogue One, which I like him as that character, so I'm down with that. I mean, we'll see how it goes. I'm optimistic about this show because I did like the first season. And I think this trailer was pretty good. It is a teaser, but that show comes out in April, so not that far away. Less than 2 months away. So we'll see how that goes. But I hope for the best on that. Um, so this next trailer here. So there was one trailer that I watched, but it um it was a thriller. It's also on Amazon. Called Holland with Nicole Kidman, but is a thriller. And then another trailer came out today that is also on Amazon. That's a thriller that I thought looked more interesting, and there was more stuff to talk about with it. So I decided to do that trailer instead. So this is Another Simple Favor, a sequel to a movie from many years ago now, called A Simple Favor with Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick. Blake Lively has been in the news lately because she was in a movie last year called It Ends With Us with Justin Baldoni. And there's been accusations back and forth between the two parties,
They're like
um,
suing each other,
suing
I
each
believe.
other, all that
Yeah.
stuff. And then in this movie, she's like you know
Revenge
revenge
person.
and so this is very interesting from
She's
what we're
playing
getting
her
here.
role in real life, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but we don't know who's telling the truth. We don't know what's going on for sure. People have been taking sides. I don't know what's going on enough to make my judgment call on anything. Nor do I really care. But um, all I know is that I thought A Simple Favor sucked buttholes. So I don't know why we're getting a second one. I must have did well. It was Paul Feig who did Bridesmaids and Heat
I've
and
never heard of the movie, so I couldn't have
Spy.
done that well.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that movie was lame as hell. There's twists in the movie that it made no sense, and I thought were weird and disturbing. So I don't know why they made another one. I'll take a look and see how much. What did you think of this trailer?
Mm, I mean, I'm personally not interested at all. I thought the trailer itself didn't look. It looked completely skippable to me. Uh, just like a girls' night out type of movie is kind of the vibe I'm getting. I don't even think on that scale it'll do. Like usually those movies can do pretty good, but I don't think this one has any legs really. I think it's just the star power that they have. That's about it.
Yeah, the first one was made for 20 million and it made 90 million. So it did make a profit. Um, I don't know if this one is made for that much or whatever, but if it is, I mean, it can make a profit. But yeah, this is the Amazon MGM Studios movie here. So this is
Not surprised. Not
this is
surprised.
who's in charge of James Bond. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, James Bond's gonna be a ladies' night out movie now.
Yeah, I'm just worried. I don't. I thought the first movie sucked. I don't really care. I don't really know what's happening with the other stuff. So, and it's kind of just weird. There's just the timing is weird. Yeah, I don't get it. And I don't get Blake Lively either. I never thought she was that particularly that interesting. I don't think she's a particularly good actress. Um, and I don't know. She was supposed to be like cool and she wears like men's tuxes and stuff, and that was like what was cool about her in the first movie. And I was like, I don't know what's cool about her. I don't get it, and it's just the same character again. So
You just don't get it, Daniel. You don't
I
get
just don't get it.
fashion.
I guess not. I mean, I wear shorts and a t-shirt every day, so I don't. I really don't. But whatever. Um, eh, it's just the timing was interesting. That's about it. I don't. I'm not really interested in this movie. So, cool. Anything else before we get into our movie here?
Let's do it.
All right. Today we're talking about Paddington in Peru. So this is the third Paddington movie, and Andrew has seen
All of them. No,
one
I've
of
only
them.
seen this
Okay,
one.
that's what I thought. So this is the first movie without Paul King as director. He left doing this movie to make Wonka with Timothée, um, and yeah. What did you think of this movie?
Um, for me personally, I thought it was pretty boring. I don't think it's like a badly crafted movie. I think for young audiences, and I think that means like below 10, maybe 10-year-olds. I don't know. I'm sure some teens can like it, but I don't even think it's a teen movie. I think it's very slow and not much to look at. Um, it just didn't like I personally would prefer more of a Sonic as like a kids family movie to this. Me personally.
Yeah,
Um,
there's no Jim Carrey in here to make goofy faces for you.
yeah, exactly. That's why I'm saying like it was like Disney's Mickey Mouse Playhouse or something to me. Like
Okay, that's fair.
very kiddie. Now there was some cute things here. It's a very cute movie. Um, so I don't think it's like bad or anything. But for me, it was just boring. What did you
No,
think?
I liked it. Now, full disclosure, I really liked the first two movies, and I think that the this is the worst one, but
Mm,
those other two movies are like really good. So I mean, it's hard, and people really like the second one. People think the second one's like one of the best movies like ever. Like that second movie has like 99% on Rotten Tomatoes. So yeah, I mean, it's hard to kind of
to compete with that,
to
yeah.
compete. Now, I like the first one the most. I think it's the first, second, third, like exactly in that order. And that's one of the only, I think this is one of the only trilogies that is in, like, for me, is in that order. It's usually like the first one's fantastic and the second one's bad and the third one's a little better, or the first one's decent, the second one's amazing, and the third one is garbage. You know, I don't think I've ever seen a movie where it's like first, second, third is boom, 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 better, better, better. But um, yeah, this one, I think it's first, best, second, and then a third. Um, but I thought this movie was good. I like this movie. I think the world of Paddington is very charming. I think, honestly, I know I say this for everything, but I think you miss out if you haven't seen the first two. Because there's a callback from the first movie in this, and you're probably like, okay, when you saw it, because you
I
didn't
didn't
see
even
it.
know that. I didn't even know there was a callback.
Exactly. There's a callback from the first movie in this movie, and you didn't get it because you never saw it. Now,
Oh no! I would have enjoyed it so much more.
and I'll get into that when we get into we're gonna do slight spoilers, but um because there is some twists in the movie or whatever. But um yeah, we'll get into
There
that.
was.
Yes, Andrew, there was. Um yeah, I thought the movie was charming. I liked the movie, and I liked the Paddington characters in the Paddington world. So it probably is higher than for me than it is for you. I think I think this is one of the best trilogies ever. Um, Now this third movie doesn't cement it as a the best trilogy or anything, because I thought this movie was fine. But I liked the movie. I thought the movie was good, and I think the Paddington world is charming, and that gives it like another point, you know. So in my mind, I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was entertaining. I thought the acting is good. I think the villains are very Paddington villains. But I thought it was good, and I liked the movie. Um, got anything else?
No, I think I said. I mean, without. I mean, I don't even need to talk about spoilers. I don't know if you do, but
Yeah, I want to. I mean, so but before we get into spoiler, so it's Paddington and the his families, right? The Browns, right? His aunt, his bear aunt Lucy goes missing. Oh, Paddington is a bear. I don't know if anybody. I guess he is a bear,
I think we all know that. Yeah.
live
Hmm.
animated bear, in a live action world. So yeah, his bear aunt goes missing, and they go to the Amazon to find her. Um, so yeah, and that's just like the crux of the story. And you got Antonio Banderas is a boat captain. You have Olivia Colman is like the head nun of a nun sanctuary for old bears, I guess. So yeah,
So retirement for
retirement
retirement home.
for bears in Peru. So
Yeah.
Paddington comes over to find his aunt. Um, I thought the movie was good. Let's get into some spoilers here. So,
Wait, do
um,
you want to do a rating first, or
oh yeah, sure, yeah, right. Um, Rating. I'm gonna say 7.5 because I thought this was a good movie overall, but the Paddington charm gives it a point 0.5 for me. So gives me a little bit of a bump for me.
I'm at a 6.
Okay. Yeah. I understand how you feel. I think it's valid to think, oh, it's just a kids movie, but I think I would say the other movies were better. and you should check them out.
Yeah, I don't. Even if those movies were good, if I had watched this at home, I would have been asleep in 20 minutes. Like it
Yeah,
has that like cozy type of
it's
feeling, and
cozy, it's charming. That's the overarching thing about it. They're fun. I think it's for kids, but it doesn't talk down to kids. It you know it's just good time movies. You feel good after watching the movies. They're not like there's no like real cynicism in the movies. They're just about family and just like kindness and love. I don't know. Those are good movies. They're
it's a very
heartfelt,
wholesome movie.
wholesome
Yeah.
movies.
Mm.
I think anybody can like the movies. I think try give the one of them. You could pick one, give one of those a try. Um, and
Maybe if I get like hospitalized and it's on the screen,
they
maybe.
also they also like have like fantastical, like whimsical parts of it. They kind of did it in this one with her like paintings. They have more of that in the other two than this one. I think not having Paul King as the director hurts this movie. Um, because yeah, he had more like fantastical parts like that in the first two movies, that we don't get in this one. Um, yeah. Um, yeah. So, would you see it, stream it, or skip it?
I know. Yeah, this is an easy skip for me. Yeah, I don't think you need to see this in theaters at all. Um,
Or see it at all? Period. You said skip it.
oh, you can stream it, sure, for
Okay.
your kids. I don't think it'd be worth buying everyone popcorn and be like $80 to
Yeah,
see this.
I
No,
understand.
definitely not.
Uh, I would say see it. I think anybody can like Paddington. I think anybody could like this movie. You might. I think the lowest you'll be is a 6. I mean,
I mean, I was being generous. I don't think it's an average movie, but I mean, I'll never watch this again. But
no, I
I
don't think I'm
am
gonna watch it
a
again either.
30-year-old adult. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, but I feel like I probably like kids movies and stuff. I'm more open to kids movies and stuff. I feel maybe than you. So, um, all right. Let's get into some spoilers here. There's not like a ton of spoilers or anything, but okay. So first of all, the actress that plays the mom, I know you haven't seen the other two, but it's a different actress. They recast her because Sally
oh,
Hawkins, who is the mom, went
I
and
like
did
the mom in this one.
anyway. So she went
She's
to do
Pink Panther.
Yeah, she's in Pink Panther. She's
I was
not Pink
like,
Panther
"Where's
though.
her glasses? She
She's
needs her
in Pink
glasses."
Panther. Yeah. I like
Yeah.
her too. I like her too. She's not the actress from the first two movies. She's like an Oscar nominated actress for the first two movies. She left this movie to do Wonka with Paul King. She was the mom in Wonka. She's that lady. Um,
I legit don't remember who the mom is. So okay,
she's, I don't know how to explain her to
it's
you.
fine. It doesn't
She's a
matter.
really good
Yeah.
actress. And the mom is like the linchpin of the family from the first two movies. She's the one that finds Paddington in the first movie. So when she pulls out the little tag out of his coat and they do a callback saying, "Hey, if you find this bear, take care of him,"
Oh,
they
that was
can't they
so sad.
can't
They can't
show the
show her.
mom because it's a different actress. It doesn't hit the way it needs to because they don't have the same actress.
It's
Um,
true. Yeah.
so it for if you've seen the other ones, it's kind of like jarring for me. Um, that was one thing that I didn't love. It's just that moment didn't hit the way that it needed to hit because you can't even show her. So, and I liked the first movie, so there's that. Now the villains. Did you like Antonio Banderas playing different characters? like,
I think that's what put it up to 6 for me.
okay,
To be honest.
yeah. I like him. I mean, I like Antonio Banderas. I've liked him since Spy Kids. So, I mean, I like Antonio Banderas, and I think he did a good job. But and the villains in the Paddington are definitely along the same lines as the other villains. They're like kooky and weird and upbeat and kind of fun, even though they're the villains. Olivia Colman turns out to be the villain, which is not that surprising because she's very weird in the movie, but she's a great actress.
Nothing suspicious here.
Yeah,
Yep.
nothing suspicious here. Exactly. I like Olivia Colman. I don't believe that she's cousins with Antonio Banderas, but
What?
yeah,
How?
I know.
That makes no sense.
They
They're
just got her.
definitely cousins.
They just got her because she's a good actress and she can be a bad guy or a good guy very well. I think she's a really good actress. I have never seen anything with Olivia Colman that the movie can be not great, but she is always great. I think she did a good job. I think she's a good actress, Oscar-winning actress, of course. So yeah, yeah. Those are like I said, light, like little. I mean, those are big spoilers in the plot of the movie, but I don't think they're like things I need to touch on for a long time. But I think those two actors really elevate the movie because they're just good actors overall. And then the mom change of actress bothers me. It doesn't bother you. I mean, I like Emily Mortimer, and yes, I remember her from Pink Panther. That's pretty much the only other thing I've seen her in. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, uh, yeah. I think they said they were gonna do another Pink Panther too with like Eddie Murphy or something. I haven't heard
I
anything about that since then. But
I do have. It's not even a problem really,
uh
but
huh.
the only issue I took with the movie was they have the dad has a boss who's an American, but she's not American.
Haley
She's a
Atwell.
British.
She's
Yeah, she's
British.
British. Yeah,
I mean, she plays
that bugged me.
Americans frequently.
I'm
Yeah,
not saying she doesn't. I'm not saying that's even. It's just like she's British though. You could have gotten an American to
it's a
play the
British
American
movie.
person.
This is a
I know, but
British movie.
I get it. But that's like why it should have been an American playing the American.
I
I don't
mean, all
know.
the British actors play like
Yeah, I know.
his friend
Yeah,
that owns the
I
shop.
know. They
He's
already
British
took all
too, and
the
he's one of them.
American roles. You could at least give the one American in the British movie an actual American.
I'm not surprised that it's a British person. Everyone is super British. That's anywhere a part of this, pretty much.
That was the only thing that bothered me. I mean,
Um,
it didn't even really bother me that much.
yeah.
But
Well, they're making more Paddingtons. They've literally have a production company now called Marmalade Pictures. Like they're good. They're more Paddingtons coming. Um,
super. Yeah.
um, I mean, I thought this movie was good. So I'll see more Paddingtons. Um, but yeah, I mean, I thought it was a pretty solid movie. Um, yeah, I mean, I saw two good movies, that and The Last Breath. So I mean, I'm on a pretty good roll of movies. Hopefully, the next movie that I see is a good movie. We can just keep this going along because the beginning of this
What
year was.
movie are you seeing?
I'm just saying, like in general,
Oh,
whatever that you know. There's another mystery movie on Monday. We'll see if I go to that. I believe it's a rated R movie, so it might be that like Novocaine or something like that. We'll see what happens.
right.
But I don't know. I'm hoping whatever the next movie I see is good. We just keep this going because the start of this year was rough, to say the least. I mean, really rough. But yeah. Um, cool. You got
All
anything
right.
else?
Well,
All right.
I think that wraps up our episode. We'll see you guys on the next one. Until then.
This has been the Daniel and Andrew Show.